If you are a follower of Amazon, you know that today is Prime Day, which means we get a whole bunch of deals. Let's talk about what that means for disc golf. All these items will be linked in the description using my affiliate link, so I'll get a small commission and it is a great way to support me, but let's get into it. So obviously this is probably not the best day for disc golf deals. A lot of these brands are the lesser known ones that you may not have as much trust with. But if you are looking for more of a cheaper version of the more mainstream products, then this probably is a good place for you. And that's definitely true for my first two items. First one being the Rivasari rangefinder. So it is basically, to me, looks like identical to the Bushnell, has all the same features. It actually seems to be a little bit more targeted towards disc golf than the regular golf rangefinder, which I love to see because a lot of the rangefinders out there are more focused on golf, and they actually don't really have like the feet measurements that you would want to have as a disc golfer. And they actually do have some decent reviews. I've heard some good stuff on Reddit about them, and it seems like it's definitely not as good as Bushnell, and with Bushnell kind of supporting disc golf so much. So if you do have like the money to spend like $150 on the Bushnell, definitely go with that. But if you are looking for the cheaper option, this one looks to be pretty good. Next up, let's go over discs and baskets. So there wasn't that much to pick from. Obviously, not the biggest name brands are really going to attach themselves to Prime Day, which is kind of sad because it would be really sweet to get like a Calvin Destroyer for like $15 like it used to be. That would be sick. But that's not the time we live in. So what we have here is a 6-pack of the 2021 James Conrad MVP Nomad. If you do use that as like your putter, then this would probably be really good for you. But if you're looking for MVP, this is kind of all you got. And if you're looking for a starter set, I definitely think that the Viking discs seem to be doing pretty good. I think I remember seeing a Foundation video about Viking disc starter set actually being decently good. And with it being only $55, it's a pretty low investment. Obviously, this is going to be base plastic, so you're definitely not going to have these discs forever. But if you know someone that's just trying to get into the game and doesn't want to spend a lot, and doesn't want to get a lot more than AVR, Shark, and Leopard, then this is probably a good route to go down. Before we get to Remix, the only Axiom disc that I saw was the Envy. $14 is not that good. So, I mean, if you want to get a couple of these, then maybe go for it, but probably not what I would recommend. But the real star of the show is Remix. They have so many discs for so cheap. And if you do recall, it is basically just like a reskin or clone of the MVP and Streamline models. I think there's a couple more brands that it's similar to, but they do have great reviews. And I've seen people mention that this is kind of like a one-for-one copy of discs that they already like. So if you do want to try them out, this is definitely the time to do it. So if you like me and you love to try new discs, this is definitely a fun route to go down because you know that they are actually good discs. But the one downside is if you do fall in love with one of these discs, I think getting a perfect replacement for it is going to be kind of hard because I don't trust the consistency of these discs. But if you're just looking to get a feel for it, this is definitely a fun route to go down. And I think you're going to find at least one of these discs that you will like. And if you only want to buy one of these discs, they do actually sell them individually. And for $9, $9.50, that is a really, really good deal that I'm just kind of shocked they would discount it even more than it already was. And yeah, the most expensive disc is $10. Like, yeah, this is awesome. I really want to buy this right now, but I also know that I have so many discs I shouldn't buy it, but man, it's very tempting. And if you're like me, you can never have enough towels. So I looked around. This seems to be the best disc golf towel that I could find. You'll definitely notice that these seem very similar to like an Innova or like one of those towels you get at a tournament. So they're probably not going to be the highest of high quality, but if you're just looking for another towel, this is definitely a good option with 3-pack only being $8. I did see in the reviews that the carabiner is super weak. So if you don't already have a decent carabiner, you probably want to get one. And then on to baskets. So for me personally, I've actually only thrown putts into this particular basket when I practice, so I only have experience with this, but I will say I generally like it. I know people have a lot of issues with spit outs for MVP, but for being so cheap and affordable, and especially being so collapsible that you can put it in your car, and they just came out with like a carrier tote that you could store even better. So I really love this basket. And I've used it so much. I've had it in winters, fall, a bunch of seasons. There has been a little bit of rust, but with that metal being exposed to so many wet conditions, I think that is definitely kind of to be understood for a 2-year-old basket. But I love it. It still does what I want it to do. And it has definitely allowed me to become a better putter. So I highly recommend this black hole basket. I actually bought it for what I believe to be $149. So 120 is definitely a decent deal. But if you are wanting to get something a little bit cheaper, they do have a cheaper model for about 92 bucks. But if it is similar to the other black hole, then it is probably pretty good. And if you're looking for a collapsible one, I have seen this everywhere and I think people seem to enjoy it a lot. And I generally just feel like it's a little bit clumsy, especially when you're trying to get a very consistent feel of your putt, when you're trying to get a practice putt before a tournament. So it's probably not the best of the best, but if you're looking for something collapsible, so with an $18 discount, if you're looking for a portable basket like this, it is probably a decent buy, but for me, I just probably wouldn't use it. So that covers it for the disc golf stuff, but for more accessories and electronics that I've actually thought were way better than the disc golf stuff, besides Remix, because Remix is just night and day, the best disc golf deal you'll ever find. If you're looking for some kind of drink carrier, I think Yeti does it very, very well. They have pretty good deals on weather insulated stuff. They have really good koozies, and overall, I think you can't really go wrong with Yeti. They have a very premium brand, and they have great stuff. So especially if you're looking for something you could put in your bag, I think these are all great options. And the cooler seems to be a decent deal, being $75 off. And if you're like me, you can never have enough headphones because I always have some that are dead, or I can't find them, or whatever. So these are actually decent deals for AirPods. For me personally, I pretty much only play my disc golf rounds with my AirPods Pro. I think they have a great feel. They never get lost. I actually only dropped them like maybe once out of like a whole year of playing, which is crazy. I really like the transparency mode. It allows you to hear the world around you, which a lot of headphones just don't really offer. And I think you can just never go wrong with AirPods Pros. But if you don't want to spend that much, they do have the AirPods base model, which is good too. But those are decent if you just want to get some form of a headphone. So third gen being 20 bucks off for a pretty new model. I think this came out like only a couple months ago. I think that's pretty good. If you're looking for something even cheaper, they have the second gen for 90 bucks. I wouldn't necessarily go with this as much because this definitely has dropped out of my ear plenty of times on playing rounds. And for me personally, I feel like the quality is just worth it to go with the AirPods Pro. But if you're just looking to get a quick set of AirPods, not a bad deal, especially if you just want to get back on the course. So for me personally, I pretty much only use UDisc with my Apple Watch. I don't really use my phone too much because it's just such a hassle. So if you do want to track your rounds with a smartwatch, I do recommend the Apple Watches. I think they have the best set of features for somebody that does like disc golf, but also wants some smart features. And for me personally, as a runner, I know people have very strong opinions about Apple's ability to track distances properly, but that's not what we're using this. But just for the purpose of disc golf and a couple of smart features, I think this is definitely the route to go down. And if you're looking for the modern day cheapest version of an Apple Watch, the SE is the one to go with. They have basically most of the features of the flagship models, just a couple of things missing. This is definitely good enough to get you by. And with some models going low as 200, this is definitely a pretty good deal. But if you do want the actual Series 8, it's still a pretty good deal. Getting it as low as $279. And I have had great luck with my Series 6, so I definitely think this is a decent route to go down. But if you do just want the cheapest modern version right now, the SE is probably the best for you. Now onto the actual mic I am literally recording with right now, the Yeti X. And this is probably like the most common mic for a lot of people. I was actually so dumb, and I had a Yeti for like 10 years. I didn't have it with me when I was moving, so I was like, all right, I need to just buy a microphone, whatever. It's a business expense, we're all good. But I bought it for the $170 price. Why did I do that? That was dumb. So if you're looking to just get into disc golf YouTube, or really any version of YouTube, I definitely recommend the Yeti X. It has great sound quality, I hope, because I'm using this right now. A lot of the streamers use it, and I've seen it used by a lot of other people in the industry, so it's definitely good quality stuff. And while it may not be a Shure SM7B, it's definitely a great mic. And then onto the camera that I use. This isn't exactly the same model as mine. I have a slightly older version. But if you're looking for a good point and shoot that doesn't require any lenses, and with it being only 400 bucks, I think this is definitely a good start if you're looking to get into the industry. And with Sony's autofocus features, you'll really be surprised by how effortless it is to record good quality content. And lastly, I wasn't even sure if I want to record this because a lot of people have very strong opinions about clothing, and especially when it comes to disc golf, you really want something that isn't going to get too much in the way of your shot. And you want to make sure it doesn't get like super gross and sweaty. And so what a lot of people like me have gone down is the route of just athletic shorts. I do have a couple of like thicker cotton dress shorts that I do wear from time to time, but for the most part when I'm playing around, it is usually gym shorts similar to this. And while I can't vouch for the exact quality of this, it seems to be a decently high reviewed product. And if you just need a couple more pairs of shorts, this seems to be a decent route to go down. But it does seem to be very flexible and allow you to have a good range of motion when you're doing your shots. It's probably worth it if you're looking to get some more shorts. But I will say one note, I did see that the sizing was slightly off, so make sure you have the exact size you're expecting, because you don't want to get these shorts and then not like the way the inseams feel. So yeah. All right, so that covers it. Overall, this isn't great. I'm not going to say this is like perfect for people like me that are obsessed with disc golf, but the real standout here is Remix. They got even cheaper than they already were. It was already like half the price of other discs, so to see a 20% discount is just totally absurd, but I love to see it. And if you're looking for the disc golf adjacent stuff, like, I think this is probably a good deal because you won't regret it. There are so many rounds that I'm so glad that I did go with the AirPods Pro and not the cheaper versions, because it was just so good to have. And once again, the best disc golf basket for Prime Day has to be this Black Hole Pro. That's definitely a great price. If I didn't already have two, I'd probably buy one right now. So with that said, was there any deals that I missed? I'd love to hear about it, because Prime Day is 2 days. There's a lot more time to get on these deals. So let me know. If you did want to get any of these, make sure to use my affiliate code, because that does support me and it allows me to make more of this content. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Wild Runs signing out. Peace.